uh, then one carpenter recommended a glazier, which was near where I live, and I made a 2 weeks internship, and I'm really happy because I had so much fun. And yeah, 1 year now I'm doing the apprentice, and yeah, it's really good, and I never regretted that decision. And yeah, after I'm finished, which will be in 1 year, I see 4 options for myself. I could either go back to university and study again in the same field to enhance my knowledge, or I could go again to school to take my master or technician's diploma. With a master diploma, I could be working in the planning field, or I could even start my own business. And the 4th option I see for myself is working as a teacher, and then go to an apprentice school. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's actually very clear what you're saying, that skill development allows you to have many options. It opens doors for different opportunities. And I wish you all the best as you pursue your glazier apprenticeship and also a career ahead. And when we think about, and I want to go to you, Barry. I know you're the gastronomy apprentice from Guinea. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, because we saw that a lot of young people were very interested in interpersonal skills, and equally they also wanted to get technical skills. So to you, which do you consider, or do you consider a particular skill more important than the other for yourself?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I think for me, the skills is more important for which I decide to choose to become. So for me, the skills are much important for me as a young student, which I'm not yet graduated from the university, which I'm just done with my high school, and now I'm preparing for my practicum, which I have. Sorry.
It's
yeah, which I have coming up on the 1st of August. So in Guinea, I have a little experience of being a chef in the kitchen. So for me, being here is more interesting for me, because I'm here to learn more skills, like to get more knowledge from which I stopped back then. So for me, it's really important for me being here for getting a new skills and new knowledge.
So you're basically telling us that getting that technical hands-on skill is most important for you.
Of course, definitely for me is the most important for me to get. So
yeah, and just to follow up on that, I know young people are facing so many challenges. We have seen some of them talking about financial constraint as a challenge. Understanding of concept has also come up as a challenge. So do you have any challenges that you face when you're getting this gastronomy?
Yeah, of course, I'm having some little challenges, which is my communication. Because like when I go out, I have to make a lot of communication with people, which I'm a little bit shy person to make a communication with people. So for me, the communication and the pressure also go with it, because, you know, working in the kitchen gives you a lot of pressure. Like for me, being in the kitchen for the first time, like I got a lot of pressure, which I can't control. But by now, which I've been in a year practicing and 2 years practicing with a good restaurant in my hometown. So now I can feel the pressure is a little bit good for me, but the communication is still giving me a little bit problem, which I need to work on more.
Okay. That is good to know, because that was one of the skills that was pointed out as the most important skill. Interpersonal skills, communication, and ability to harness that and to hone that is very important for skill development. And now I just want to look at you, Roman. I know you have a very impressive CV when it comes to your ability to do networking system administration, and you also participated in the WorldSkills Champion 2021. So just to follow up on what Barry has said, there's so many challenges. Is there a solution where you see that can be done? Or in other words, I can ask, so what changes would you hope to see in TVET that will really emphasize or enhance your skill development?
So in Germany, we have a pretty cool system where like companies and schools go hand in hand and provide apprenticeships to young people. Yeah, and what I've seen back in the school when I did that apprenticeship was that some lessons don't really reach all students. I mean, I kind of understand that you have many young people they are young, but they have a different history, they have a different level of knowledge, and you have to reach all of them. But sometimes the teachers appear to lose them. And I don't know if that solves the problem, but I would like to see that those lessons or those classes get more individualized or diversified to reach all students, and that everyone gets what he needs.
Absolutely. I think inclusion is one of the things that we really need to emphasize. And it means learners have different learning journeys, they have different needs. And we as teachers and trainers, we need to create intentional ways in which we can incorporate learners' abilities and also participate in making, leaving no one behind. That's basically what you're saying. And just to really add on to that, and maybe just to follow up on that question to you, Roman. So what advice would you give a trainer on what they can do to really emphasize and to break that gap that is existing, especially in bearing in mind that a lot of trainers are millennials and a lot of trainees, yourself included, is a Gen Z. Is there a thing that you can tell a trainer, if you do this, this is going to reach me, I'm going to facilitate my understanding better?
I think it couples kind of like with what I said earlier, that training should be more individualized, that trainers should talk with their students and get in communication with them and understand what they need and be in communication with them so that they can adjust what they teach in lessons or what they need. For example, another thing is that apprenticeships are usually very generic, while companies and business purposes are usually very specific. And if the teachers are in touch with the students and understand what they're maybe also doing in the company, they can adjust the lessons and try to teach them in things that they don't get in touch that much in the company, for example. And I think that's a very important part, that teachers communicate with the students and adjust their lessons based on that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Individualized training plans. I hope teachers who are here are taking notes of what young people really expect and what they want and what their aspirations are. And just going back to you, Mike, because we talked about your career in class here. Do you think there's any role that the government can play in ensuring that you actually get better outcomes when it comes to transition to work, when it comes to your training at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. I often experience that a lot of people don't really know what I do when I say I work as a glazier. And that's because I think there's a lack of attention and a well standing for the work of a glazier or work or craft works as in general. And I think that the government should go to the schools and in secondary schools and tell them or the information they want and they need about TVETs. Because if I knew what I had a range of possibilities, maybe I could make an easier decision of what I wanted to do after school. And yeah, by that, a lot of people would maybe, because I really like working as a glazier, and maybe young people then also would take the chance and join TVET as a glazier. And by that, maybe more people that would be in need of more schools, and that would mean maybe a better infrastructure. And because I have a long way to school, I have to travel, because there are only 2 schools in Germany where you can learn or have the training for glaziers. And I think it would also be a nice side effect, because more schools would mean like a competition between the schools, and that would make maybe better learning or more learning. Yeah, that's what I think.
So I think that the government representatives who are here can attest that what Micah is saying is that you need to create opportunities for career information where people can easily access that information and so that they can choose the paths that they want. And quickly, just to go to you, Aswatha and Narayana, we know you participated in the WorldSkills Champion 2019 in water technology from India, and you won a gold medal. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So please tell us, how was the experience like, and how has this really helped in development of your skills?
Yeah, in my journey as a competitor for WorldSkills, I have trained for the skill water technology, and the experience and everything, the journey has been quite transformational to me. And when it comes to when it comes to my experience as an engineering graduate, I saw that most often the knowledge is limited to the theoretical aspects, and in the real world, it lacks, the practical approach towards the implementation of the knowledge. And hence, I strongly believe that bridging the gap of knowledge and the skills is very important, and I believe the apprentice trainings and the competitions can do a lot in solving this, in bridging the gap between the thing. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you're saying that competitions allows you to weigh yourself, weigh your skills and measure your muscle. And this allows you to really develop your skills and to push yourself further. So just to follow up on that, because you worked on water technology, and right now we're talking about sustainability and the issues, big concerns about climate change and such things that are really affecting us in terms of global warming, etc. So what do you think young people can do to participate in increasing sustainability?
Yeah, I think more than ever before today, we talk about the climate change and the sustainability concerns, the practices and their implementation. And what I feel is most often we fail to recognize the gravity of the issues. So first of all, acknowledging that there is a problem is very important. And for instance, water being one of the most critical resource. Most of us who have the privilege to have access to clean water and the usage of water every day, we don't pay attention to those tiny things like leaving the tap open for a long time. So things like these are very tiny things, but if we can pay more attention to these things, there can be a change as well. And I think young people can play a huge role in bringing this change in the communities with their knowledge and expertise, what they learn in their trades. So they can also, from their own domain, they can implement more sustainable practices, and at the same time bring more awareness to their communities while they follow these things.
Okay, thank you so much. I think it's just about turning the water off when you're brushing your teeth. Just start from there. Charity begins at home, right? So quickly, just go to you, Florian. And I know you're an ICT student and also going to participate in the competition in a few months to come. And you saw that AI is interesting, that it's only 30% of the participants who have actually interacted with AI. So to you, have you interacted with AI, and how has it affected or enabled your enhancement of your skill development?
Yeah, for me personally, AI has definitely greatly changed the way I learn and I use it in my everyday life. I've implemented it everywhere, but the thing is with AI, the trick is in actually mastering it. Like there's always many tools that we can use in IT, but actually mastering is the real trick. And that's also one thing that like I advise teachers and also like people who work on curricula is implement it as fast as possible, because it's changing our society and we'll have to learn to use it. And it's really like interesting to see that not that many people use it, because in my field in IT, it has definitely been a game changer. It's basically like a personal teacher You can use it as a personal teacher, just what Roman spoke about. It is a teacher who is like highly individual. He has always time for you, and you just have to know how to use it. So I like to use it, for example, also to solve problems. It has greatly changed how I use it or how I solve problems in everyday work, where I just tell it basically my problem in natural language, be it coding or just a problem in general. And it most of the time works. It might, like, especially for coding, throw me a curveball now and then, but most of the time it gets the job done. And then it's mostly just a small oversight that I have to debug myself. So the thing is, it doesn't replace us skilled workers, but it helps us a lot in efficiently working. And it can be extremely useful, but you also have to be careful, obviously, with the data you provide, especially in a field where I work. You have to be careful, like, with what data you provide. The company right now, it's just not on-premise or anything. It just goes into the ether. And future AI models will be trained on that. So you have to watch out for what data you give it and feed it.
Okay, that's very impressive. I like how you articulate and you understand how AI, maybe we need to consult you because this is a big problem globally, and we need to understand how we can really incorporate. And I like that you say that AI is here to stay and we need to embrace it. So I know Mr. Friedrich, who is our head of office, talked about having 1 out of 5 students, 1 out of 5 young people are not in employment, they're not in training, and these are the people we really need to be talking to. And some of them are also in training, but they are thinking of, they have challenges and something is happening. So you as a trainee who has really developed their skills and have benefited from skill development, do you have any advice to young people who are pursuing their paths towards skill development?
Yes, definitely. Like, I would say the most important thing in life is following your passions, be it in work, be it in hobbies. If you find what resonates with you personally, it will be far easier for you to be successful and to work on your skills. Like, every skill you work on, be it like something you like, be it something you not like, it involves hardships. And hardships can be best overcome if you love your work. And that definitely helps with that. So definitely work with something that you love. So don't just do something that because it's lucrative or because people expect it from you. Do something because it helps you, because it's interesting for you and it resonates with you. Like, it needs to be important for yourself, otherwise you won't be successful.
And one more.
Yeah, you should be also open to new ideas. Like, that's also a very important thing. Be open-minded, embrace the changes that technology brings, and open to new ideas, new experiences, and like dare to ask questions that no one has asked yet. Remember, we are like shaping the future of our planet together. So our ability to adapt, innovate, and will be the key to our future success.
Absolutely. I cannot even add anything to that. I hope you're taking notes, because this is a learning lesson for all of us. We're getting schooled by the young people here. And thank you so much for participating in this. We appreciate your perspectives. And we asked a question to you, the audience. We asked a question on how skill development has helped you or made a difference in you personally and professionally. And I'm just going to read some of the answers that I see coming through. That we have Joseph, who has said, learning new skills opened up many opportunities in school for me. The more skills I learned, the more leadership positions I was able to acquire. Then we have Abdul Razak, who is saying it helped me to remain relevant in the sector and harness opportunities in the sector. Then we have someone from Maimal, who is saying that learning new skills is an essential part of our lives, as learning has never ended. It's a never-ending process. It's necessary not to stop learning for any reason. Then we have Jeremy from Canada, who is saying learning new skills and competencies has and continues to give me the knowledge, skills, and behaviors that have assisted me to transform the TVET sector in Canada. And we have let's see, we have Jay from New York, who is saying that learning new skills has opened doors that in some cases I did not know existed. Keep sending your inspiring stories, because this is what young people really want to hear, and this is what is going to allow them to take up new challenges and to continue to work with us. So as we continue, I'd like to thank you all, first of all, for allowing us to see what is happening in terms of live work and education. And I know we have taken notes. We have different stakeholders here who have helped us to really understand what is going on. So as we quickly go on with the program, we are going now to look at a short video from the campaign that we just had. And this short video is just young people talking about more of what we've had today, more of what we had from the plan that we got. And this video is going to be an opportunity for you to tell us more, to interact with people, to ask questions as we continue with the program ahead. Enjoy the video.
They need to learn the practical implications of real-life projects. So get them involved with actual life projects or get them internships, and this is the way that they will be prepared for the industry.
It is important that the training students are acquiring is not outdated and the education system is moving at the same pace as the industry.
I think you could get higher feedback and more receptiveness if you listen to students and create a space and environment where they can learn from what they actually would want to do.
I would like them to introduce mentorship programs. People who've made it in life should come and talk to us about how they did it.
They could provide us with simulation training through the use of technologies like VR. This could bridge the gap between classroom learning and real-world obligation.
The decision makers can contribute by supporting youth employment, skill development, reducing the youth unemployment rates, and create a more inclusive society.
I think decision makers can help improve this by giving us more funds, financial support.
Decision makers should help promote student projects, help bridge the gap between TFED institutions and industries by encouraging partnerships.
Darnos más oportunidades para nosotros poder tener una noción empresarial y poder crear nuestras empresas, mejorar en el tema económico de nuestro país.
To those who are thinking of signing up, please do so, because this can be an experience of a lifetime for you to be able to get your dream job.
I want to say to you, where there is a skill, there is always a way. Enroll at a TVET college where you will learn a skill, and that skill will change your world. I always say, when you have a skill, you will never go hungry.
My message to young people is to always follow your passion.
And my recommendation for anyone who knows what they want to do in life is pursue it. Go find it. Go find a vocational course that can give you the skills that get you into that sector, and don't stop. Keep going until you get what you want.
Happy World WorldSkills Day.
Yes, happy World Youth Skill Days to all of you. And thank you for participating today in commemorating this special day. So we understand that TVET plays an important role when it comes to skill development. And in our next panel, we really want to try to understand and see how we can address some of these challenges that we have seen young people put across. They have also talked about their aspirations, but is it that easy to just come up with solutions? We're going to look at possible challenges, the possible solutions that we can give, and we are looking forward to also you participating in telling us what you think about this topic. So when you think about the TVET ecosystem, it's composed of different kinds of stakeholders. We have the international organizations, we have the government, we have trainers, we have the learners themselves, and we even have the community and parents that play into this ecosystem. And all of us have the opportunity to contribute to development of skills for young people, and we can do this through various means. So in studio here, we have our guest today. We have Ms. Samira Bura, who is joining us from here in Germany. She's the policy officer for the European Federation of Education Employers. And to my left is Mr. Mohamed Amin Faiz. Mohamed Amin Faiz is the technical advisor at GIZ. And joining us live, we have we have two more participants who are joining us. And one, to start with, we have Mr. Afero Ismail. Afero Ismail is the Associate Professor, the Department of Engineering Education, Faculty of Technical and Vocational Education, University Tun Hussein on Malaysia. And also we have with us, joining us from Jamaica, is Ms. Sonia Hill. Ms. Sonia Hill is the WorldSkills Champion Trust, and she's also the regional representative for America competitor, and also a competitor in the mobile robotics. She is now currently transitioned from being a trainee and now working in the renewable sector. Thank you all for joining us in the panel today. And I just want to jump right in and just get to this discussion that we just started with the young people. They talked about a diverse skill set that is required to enhance their development in skills. They talked about technical skills are equally important as the interpersonal and communication skills. They talked about entrepreneurial flair. They talked about ability to have critical mindset, and also sustainability literacy. So just to go straight to you, Mr. Afero, who is representing the trainers and the teachers globally. You're going to be speaking on behalf of many teachers. Tell us, are the trainers ready to respond to these needs that young people are talking about, and also to respond to the ever-changing and evolving marketplace that we see today?
All right, thank you, Priscilla, for the question. So I, on behalf of the educators around the world, so basically, I would like to say that in the current educational landscape today, educators encounter numerous challenges when it comes to delivering quality and effective curriculum, especially when faced with the technology-savvy Generation Z and Alpha cohorts. So I would like to share our study conducted in 2021, which is one of the cohesion projects funded by UNESCO-UNEVOC in 6 countries, which are Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Iran, China, and Maldives. So our study revealed that educators have expressed a strong need for specialized ICT training, specifically in the areas such as creating and developing digital learning materials and fostering entrepreneurship skills. And from this study, we believe that educators should receive training within real business environment, in this context, digital business environment, enabling them to enhance their professional development and effectively support their students. Therefore, providing educators with ICT skills is very important, as it enables them to manage their classroom more effectively and efficiently, and thus benefiting their students' educational journeys, as we know that most of the jobs out there are IT-related occupations. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing that forward. We understand that entrepreneurship is very important. And if the trainers are able to develop these skills, they can really transfer this knowledge to the young people and really enhance their skill development. Thank you for that intervention. And I'm just going to ask you, Ms. Samira, because you're just sitting next to me. And I know you work within the Employers Federation, and also specifically working with trainers, teachers, etc. So are there any pressing challenges that are currently faced by employers in this industry and the different industry you work within?
Thank you very much, Priscilla. I'm very honored to represent the European Federation of Education Employers here in this great panel. We are the representation of education employers throughout in Europe. So we are at the source of the experiences, the challenges our members, which include ministries of education, vet coaches, vet schools, which they meet in their daily lives. So one of the challenges is certainly the lack of teachers, the shortage of teachers in Europe, but also worldwide. We have come to witness this, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Teachers are vital in order to not only provide learning, but also skills. And in this regard, we have witnessed in Europe, for example, according to the publication of the European Commission, Teachers in Europe, an oversupply in some countries, for example, in the UK, in Cyprus, but also the exact opposite, namely a shortage of teachers in Hungary, in Austria, in the Netherlands, and in Germany. For example, in Germany, we have a lack of 12,000 teachers across all levels of education. Some levels of education are more affected in this regard. For example, the primary education level. In 2035, it is estimated we have the double amount of teachers lacking. So this is a very threatening perspective. The second point is, of course, inclusion, which is a big topic we have been also working on. According to the policy of the European Commission, to leave no one behind in this regard. So it one addresses the fact that we have an influx of migrants triggered by the refugee crisis in 2015. Where, for example, in 2015, we had 1.3 million people who applied asylum in the 28 member states. And also the war in Ukraine. So we have an influx of students, of teachers, and in this regard, the question also arises how to interpret them best into the education systems in order to benefit from their talents, from their ideas, from their visions. The second point with regards to inclusion is, of course, the social disadvantaged students, for example, students with disabilities. So the question is, of course, how to integrate them best into the learning systems. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we have, for example, seen that with e-learning, we have a rising opportunity in this regard. And also with the new approaches we have seen with the need-based holistic approaches, which we have been working on as well more and more.
Okay, thank you so much. And I like that you mentioned about inclusion, because we already know that as much as we don't have enough trainers to really capture all the students that are coming up, we also have a limited knowledge when it comes to inclusion. And I like that you already mentioned that. So I'd like to turn to you, Ms. Sonia, joining us from Jamaica and a recent graduate and now working. So in terms of your transition from school to work, were there any challenges that you encountered when you were doing this?
Yes, there were challenges from the transition from school to work. However, it was a wonderful learning experience. There were certain skills and knowledge gaps that hindered my performance in the work environment, regardless of having completed an engineering degree. This is because my engineering degree program, they provided a solid theoretical foundation, and I did not really get exposure to practical experience and technologies used within industry. This made it really challenging for me to quickly adapt to the work environment and effectively apply my knowledge. From my perspective, a more practical and industry-oriented approach during my studies would have better prepared me for the transition from school to work. I believe TVET institutions can bridge the gap between the training institutions and the industry to better support young people in this transition from school to work by regularly revising their syllabus and invest in modern tools and equipments that are in line with the demands of the labor market. And secondly, partner with organizations with the aim of granting students opportunities to gain practical training and internships. This would develop their knowledge and skills within their respective industries, allowing them to adapt more quickly to the demands of their profession as soon as they graduate school.
Thank you so much for giving us that insight and what we need to do to support more young people, especially when they transition from school into the world of work. So there's still a lot to be done, and there's so much that needs to be done. And I want to turn to you, Mr. Mohammed Amin, working as an advisor for GIZ. And I know GIZ has been very particular about trying to connect this transition, trying to bring in the private sector into the narratives, and also trying to reduce that exposure or lack of machinery that is also a challenge for many people. So maybe you can tell us a bit about the projects you've been working within this space for cooperation training.
Thank you, Priscilla. To put some context on our projects and experience, I'll start with a number. We have an annual rate of approximately 30% of TVET graduates in Morocco who are unemployed within a year after graduation. And if you take those who are employed, there is a huge proportion of them who are employed in low-skilled jobs compared to their field of training. But if you take into account those who pursued dual vocational training, the employment rate goes up to 90%. So this is due mainly to two factors. The first is that those who do dual TVET, they have at least 1 year experience, which is like the factor that changes a lot in the job market. And also the companies where they do their trainings, generally they offer them job contracts even before they finish their training. So with our partner, the Moroccan Ministry of Economic Inclusion, Skills and Employment, we're trying now to increase the number of young students who are enrolling in dual TVET program, but also accompanying the private sector to develop trainings in the dual mode. And like magic word here in our every action we take is the private sector engagement. And we work mainly on 3 levers. The first one is foresight, skills foresight. And it should be the private sector that should be able to tell the public institution, public educational institutions, what are the professions needed, what are the future skills. For example, they've put a lot of new topics on the table that were maybe under the radar of our public institutions, like green skills, or maybe digitalization, or even AI in the ICT sector. The second thing is, second lever is the management of schools through public and private partnerships. We did it in 3 major sectors: automotive, aerospace, and textile, with amazing results. Also with more than 90% of enrolled graduates who are employed sometimes even before the end of their curricula. And the third lever is developing apprenticeship. Developing the dual TVET is about developing apprenticeship places in companies. So the public institutions also should offer incentives to private companies to enroll apprentices.
Thank you so much. And I like that you mentioned really about the key things that we need to do, especially when it comes to this transition and what GIZ is doing. But just to dig deeper into that, we understand that not a lot of people have the same economic prowess, and so many challenges that people keep facing when it comes to skill development. And one of the issues is inclusion, and people from disadvantaged backgrounds. I don't know if you had that experience in Tunisia. You find that they are not equally advantaged like the people who will be in a different region. And sometimes we wonder, how can you ensure that we have equal access of skill building opportunities, especially from young peoples from very diverse backgrounds?
Well, ensuring equal opportunities is a cornerstone of every social and economic development. And even when you talk about just transition, we should talk about ensuring equal opportunities for everybody. So in that matter, now for every educational or training policy design, we should always address the systemic barriers that some categories like or socioeconomic factors, or maybe gender or race, are putting barriers for a lot of young people to have an equal opportunity compared to some others. For example, those systemic barriers can be infrastructure. To give an example, in Morocco, we had a huge dropout rate for young girls in rural areas. And when we dig into that, we understood that it was mainly because of the lack of public transportation. So just with a shuttle bus service, free meals at lunch, we managed to decrease this number significantly. Another example for systemic barriers, and it's pretty interesting that it was in the survey, is image shaping. And having role models is very important for minorities or people who are sometimes excluded from the conventional communication about jobs and careers and professional success. And having those role models can be also very significant in ensuring that those categories are included. For example, women in tech. We have also a program in that in Morocco, and it's really having amazing results because we're connecting young girls with women who have succeeded in tech. And it helps them orient also their careers toward IT trainings and IT careers, which have a huge demand now in Morocco.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that. And really talking about the systemic barriers, because we don't say enough. And there's so many systemic barriers that young people will encounter that really will hinder their skill development. And it's upon us as the TVET fraternity to really look into how we can address these barriers. And I want to turn to you, Ms. Samira. We talk about sustainability. It has come out as one of the important topics of the day when it comes to corporate responsibility, when it comes to even young people. They were here talking about how they need to be more responsive when it comes to sustainability and also preserving the environment. So just to understand a little bit within your workspace, are there any projects that you're doing within this space of sustainability and anything to do with environmental friendly practices that you can really support trainers, especially within your space of work?
Thank you very much. So our ambition as the European Federation of Education Employers is to improve the quality of management and teaching, because everything starts in this regard to have a school-based approach to include everyone. Speaking again of the subject of inclusion. In this regard, we apply for yearly projects in the framework of the European Social Dialogue Call, which is sponsored by the European Commission, but also the Erasmus Plus program. And in this regard, we include burning topics such as inclusion, but also environmental sustainability, which is at the core of our thinking as well. Having the green agenda on the international level in mind, but also the European Green Agenda and the European Year of Skills, which was recently launched in May. So we have, for example, one project going on green skills, which is titled European Social Partners in Education Promoting Environmental Sustainability in School Learning, Teaching and Management. A very long title, but a very interesting one, as we explore the various levels within the school community, namely management, teaching and learning. So how can we bring everyone on the table to pursue one goal in terms of fostering environmental sustainability in the school setting? In this regard, we have launched several peer learning activities, as we believe bringing people together is at the core. People are important. Innovation is important. Driving things forward is important in order to reach our goals, to collect best practices, to not only talk about policies, but also to focus on the question why, so that our members go back to the settings and say, that was a very nice idea. that's something we implement in our setting. That's something we can really challenge our setting with our policymakers and drive things forward. So, for example, with regards to this project on environmental sustainability, we have found out by gathering our members, but also international European stakeholders, such as the European Commission, that, for example, there needs to be work done on continuous professional development, for example, fostering green skilling opportunities in induction programs by, for example, in the form of credit systems as an incentive for teachers to award a certificate in the end. With regards to the management level, was very interesting to see that there was a lot of the idea of transversal skills coming up. So the necessity to reform the curriculum in the sense that green skills should not only be thrown into the curriculum as an add-on for teachers, for school leaders at all levels of education, but to really integrate the green skilling into the teaching program together with students in a need-based, holistic, transversal approach to form awareness, to form consciousness of the green transition as soon as possible, as everything starts with attitudes, awareness, together with the students.
Absolutely. Everything starts with the dialogue. It's about building awareness. And I really want to hear from you, Ms. Sonia, because you recently graduated and now you're working within the renewable energy sector. Coming now from school and now being on the other side of the spectrum, are there some ways in which you can advise young people or education programs to really think about when it comes to training sustainability and green programs within schools?
Definitely. There is always room for improvement. And I believe training institutions should emphasize sustainable methods and practices within their own operations, which would include like waste management, strategies, conserving energy and water, and adopting eco-friendly technologies such as technologies powered by renewable energy. By doing so, TVET institutions act as a role model for students and business, emphasizing the importance of sustainability within the industry and equipping future professionals with the knowledge and motivation to make impact on the environment.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. And I just want now to go to Mr. Avero. And I know you mentioned earlier about digital skills, and we have seen that digital skills have become very important, especially in this evolving world. Technology has disrupted a lot in terms of how we operate today, and even how training is being done in schools. So I just want to hear your weighing into this discussion. How do you think the training programs can better incorporate digital literacy and pedagogy aspect of it to enhance skill development in response to the job market?
Yeah, I would say that incorporating digital literacy and data analysis into existing training programs can indeed be challenging. Yeah, to effectively integrate these elements, it may be necessary just like to introduce new and specific training programs that focus on digital components. So these programs should be designed to provide students with the necessary skills and competencies in the digital era. However, updating conventional training programs is essential to ensure the infusion of digital elements. One practical approach is to develop assessment and assignments that evaluate students' digital competence. By incorporating this assessment into the training process, educators can measure students' proficiency in utilizing digital tools and technology. This approach also encourages educators to enhance their digital skills and adapt to the changing education landscape. So in my opinion, to support this process, it is crucial to pair conventional training programs with competent teachers who have expertise in the digital domain. These teachers can serve as mentors and provide guidance to their peers in the context of pedagogy, and helping them develop the necessary digital skills and practice. Furthermore, by updating training programs and introducing digital focus components when talking about the educators' digital competence. They can enhance their digital literacy, enabling them to effectively incorporate digital tools and data analysis into their teaching practices. This in turn will equip them to better meet the demands, the needs, challenges of the digital era in education. Yeah, Priscilla.
Okay, and just to follow up on that, do you think teachers and trainers should really use AI to do their training? As young people have said that they also want AI to be a partner in education. What is your suggestion on that topic?
Yeah, this is quite a critical issue actually, even in my institutions, that now students tend to use AI in, I would say, like developing or doing the assignments and tasks given to them. So we have come to a conclusion that AI somehow it helps and benefits to the students in certain way. But at some point, sometimes when we do rely on the AI too much, so we might lose some of the knowledge and skills component. So I would say that this is quite initial stage of using AI in our teaching and learning process, but I believe that in the future, AI will become a dominant in our teaching and learning session.
Thank you so much for that. And I think it's just an opportunity for us to keep thinking about how we incorporate the new technologies that are coming on board into our TVET and training systems. So I want to go to you, Sonia, again, because I know that you being a student, you really give us a lot of insights into the world of work. And I want to bring in the topic of lifelong learning, because it was one of the topics that young people talked about. They really want to be involved in and they want to work on it. And they want to become learners throughout their life. So have you thought about any learning that you want to do beyond what you are currently doing at the renewable section or the renewable energy work that you're currently doing? How is lifelong learning important to you?
Well, it is definitely important to me because I still want to develop my skills within the renewable energy sector, seeing that the only thing I am focusing on now is just solar energy. So I want to step out into like wind energy and so forth. And training institutions, they can facilitate continuing education and lifelong learning opportunities, support the ongoing development and adaptability of the labor force by regularly revising their syllabus of their program in line with the labor market demands, so that students can be equipped with the knowledge and skills required to succeed in their respective industries. Secondly, to bridge the gap between TVET institutions and industries, these institutions can integrate apprenticeships and internships into training programs. Through this program, there would be opportunities for everyone, especially young people, to gain hands-on experience with developing their critical and problem-solving abilities. This collaboration would ensure that the labor force is well prepared for meeting the demands of the evolving job market. This in turn contributes to the development of businesses as they maximize their productivity, while on a larger scale, a skilled labor force drives a country's economic growth. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And I believe lifelong learning is an important topic, especially when it comes to TVET and skill development. We're not just talking about the young people, we're also talking about after transition from school to work. Do you need to harness your skills? Do you need to develop your skills further? And this is an interesting topic. So I just want to hear from you before we go to the audience. If you have any questions, audience, please write your questions because we can take it to the panel. They can answer some of these questions for you. And I want to hear your advice. I know young people talked about having that life balance, having that work-life balance, and being a very important aspect, which is more important than even getting the money, which has always been the assumption. So what advice would you give to young people when it comes to life and work balance, or even the trainers on how they can be able to incorporate this into their training programs?
It's a very, very important question, because it's now for young people, especially new generation, it's a very important thing to have a purposeful job. to have this balance when we think about it, honestly, we think about sometimes just guidance and mentorship, because it's really, really important to have those career building advice and insights from someone maybe you can relate to, someone you think or you see that your image maybe in the future in that person. And having those mentorship programs, that might not be like one-to-one mentorship, but sometimes just conferences and exchanges. And it's really important for people to know exactly what they should do, how they should think about a career and not just a job, and how that career fits, the general picture.
Yeah, and I believe sometimes when it comes to lifelong learning, it's about your ability as a person to really enjoy what you do, be passionate about the kind of work that you're doing, and that way you not feel like you're working. They always say that you don't feel like you're working a day. So keep sending your questions. I want to take 2 questions as we continue, and maybe just to I'm just going to ask random questions to just listen, and then you can jump in if you feel like you have the answer. So Mr. Abdul Razak has asked a question. When you're giving people recognition for prior learning and certification for skilled workforce, especially for the non-informal sector, how can we go with that? How can we solve that question? So when it comes to recognition of prior learning, so TVET is known to really be part of the inclusion, where it allows the people who have different kinds of skills to get certification equivalent to the kind of knowledge and skills they have. So when it comes to that topic, Abdul is asking, how can we ensure this is done, especially for the informal and the non-formal sector?
Well, informal sector is a huge part, for example, for our economies, and skills recognition is a tool today with specific and targeted policies and solutions that are done to include people from the informal to the formal economy. And in this, for example, to give a practical solution, we start training of trainers to start conducting, how can I, what's the word? Those recognition of skills tests for 5 sectors now. Yeah. And we are having good results in that. And yes, well, it can bridge, honestly, between, we're seeing it as a bridge now between the informal economy and the formal economy. So yes, also we add that to lifelong learning and access to continuous education with those kinds of certificates that you can have after you have your skills recognition certificate. It gives you an opportunity to evolve also in the formal economy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I think recognition for prior learning, especially to the informal sector, is an interesting topic. And many governments have been working on this topic, including us at UNESCO-UNEVOC and UNESCO at large. We work on this topic closely. And the biggest challenge has always been trying to balance the qualification criteria. But it's good news because we are already doing that. And I believe young people are going to be more interested and they're going to be more included, especially in skill development, by recognition of the current skills that they already have. So I just want to turn to you because I see a question that is close to you, which is inclusion. And I see Afe Karori has asked a question. How do you ensure effective inclusion though? Because it seems to be easier said than done.
Indeed. So that's if we had the master answer to this question, there would be indeed of the best outcome. However, maybe it's not. It's good. We do not have the question yet, so we dig a little bit deeper into this. Because when we talk about efficiency is a very general term, which also is close to investment, which is very important. But also, with regards to it's like it is with learning. It is a lifetime journey to explore together with various stakeholders. because every stakeholder has different ideas, different means of investment. And so it's important to dig a little bit deeper in this regard, and especially do mapping, which is the very first step, because especially with regards to the subject of disability and the IVET sector, and in general the school sector, we are generally speaking still at the start. So I think that's something we have to do even more in order to have this need-based approach with regards to investment, to redirect investment there where it is needed, into the regions, into the schools.
Absolutely. And sometimes, because it's very easy, I like that question, because inclusion has become one of those buzzwords that people want to say, oh, we are inclusive, and then they end up not doing too much. So we always talk about a reasonable accommodation, and this is one of the criteria that really allows for inclusion to take place. But most importantly, we also talk about the universal design for learning, and this is, you have to think of inclusion from the word go. When you're actually designing programs, when you're actually coming up with policies, infrastructure into it, because this is the only way that you allow all these perspectives to be taken care of earlier on, before we now come to talk about equity and justice and all that. So inclusion is an important topic, and we tackle that at UNESCO-UNEVOC. You are free to go to our website and ask us those questions, and we are going to have a different webinar for that. And I want to go to Sonia and also Afero for the same question, because someone is asking about what are the green jobs that are available. Do you have this answer? Maybe both of you can answer this question. Which are these green jobs that are available?
The green jobs?
Yes, green jobs.
As in like renewable energy?
Yeah. Within that space, other than renewable energy, are there any other jobs that you can call them or term them as green jobs that are available today?
No, the only jobs that I see that is green right now, from my perspective, is in renewable energies, because companies are still in the phase of going over to the green energy sector. So there are jobs within the renewable energy sector, has technicians, has a design engineer, has a design engineer, and the maintenance officers. So there are jobs like that, and they can also search online for other options that are available within the renewable energy sector.
Thank you for that. And I think, I don't know if Ishmael, you have a...
Yeah, Priscilla, this is very interesting questions that becomes a confusion to many people, that what differences between green technology and the green jobs. So we are, as educators, we are trying to educate our students to have certain skills, and especially for green skills, to be integrated into the curriculum. So as we do understand that the green jobs is always related to the green technology, but what we are missing here, that sometimes we can also call that the bus driver as a green jobs. Because why? Because the bus driver need to understand about the pollution, how to minimize the cost, how to make sure that the ergonomics and so on. So what we are doing right now is to implement all specific skills for, especially for the green skills, to every jobs available in the world. So if you are mentioning about the green jobs, I think that most of the jobs out there can be called green jobs, but it depends on how you interpret that. Yeah.
Thank you for that. And I think Mohammed, you want to weigh into that as well?
Yes, if I can jump in, as Mr. Afero said, that you have distinction between green jobs and green skills. For green jobs, yes, you have a lot of jobs now related to renewable energy. You can speak about solar or green hydrogen or wind energy. But there are also green jobs now, which we'll talk about when you think about water management, when you think about green entrepreneurship. So there is a huge demand now on the market about that, even on the durable mobility. But on the other hand, you have the green skills that you should master for just traditional jobs. For example, a logistical operator should now be able to calculate the carbon footprint of every operation he's doing, especially if the company is exporting its goods towards Europe. So, and also there is skills related to energy efficiency, related to electricity jobs or electricians, or even now it is incorporated in curriculums. So the green skills are, maybe when we think about future skills, we should always think about green.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for weighing to that. I think that's the last question we're going to take in. And the panelists, I want to thank you so much for taking the opportunity to talk to young people and to give us ideas on the projects that you are currently doing that facilitate skill development. We've had different recommendations that we need to take into action as we go ahead. And I believe that the people who are here can actually attest to some of these recommendations that have been put forward. So basically, we are coming close to the end of this second panel session. And what basically we are telling the young people, we're telling you that you have great opportunities, you have great chances more than before to take up the opportunities that are afforded to you when it comes to skill development. Without taking those opportunities, you are not going to be able to benefit from the advantages that skill development offers. So what we say to you is that take the initiative, and I can say this because I'm a Swahili speaker, and there's something we say, jitume, and this means can be loosely translated to send yourself. Take the initiative. Don't wait for opportunities to land on your laps. Send yourself out there. Look for opportunities, develop that skill, be a lifelong learner, as what Sonia has said. Continue advancing what you know. And most importantly, ensure that whatever skill you have, whatever knowledge that you have, it's relevant to the job market for today. You need to create, develop your skills that are responsible or respond to the jobs that exist today, So keep learning to thrive. And I think that is the end of the second session of this panel. Thank you so much, our panelists, for this opportunity to hear from you. And we really appreciate the time you've had. So quickly, I'm going to allow my colleague, Ms. Soledad, to come on board and to talk about the next sessions, which is the session about UNESCO Global Skill Academy. Global Skill Academy connects individuals, learners, and institutions and governments with a wide range of training programs. And these are the training programs I'm urging young people to look into and take advantage of. These programs are provided by the Global Education Coalition, the members, and the main aim is to really allow and support young people and also adults in their journeys to developing skills and competencies for employability as well as resilience. So 3 years today, Global Skills Academy launched a very important initiative in which they are delivering youth skills for employability, entrepreneurship, and resilience. And today, being the 3rd anniversary, we want to celebrate with Global Skills Academy as they tell us more about this initiative. So we'll hear about this from Soledad and the team after this short video. Thank you, and that's it from us. Soledad.
Launched on July 15th, 2020, World Youth Skills Day, in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Global Skills Academy stands as a flagship initiative of UNESCO's Global Education Coalition. Its primary focus is implementing programs that JEC and GSA partners are offering at a global level to develop the necessary skills and competencies for improved employability and resilience. GSA leverages the UNESCO-UNEVOC network across countries. In the aftermath of the pandemic, the Global Skills Academy is adapting to the new landscape and aligning itself with UNESCO's 2022-2029 strategy for technical and vocational education and training, focusing on 3 key priority areas. Developing skills for all individuals to learn, work, and thrive. Cultivating skills for inclusive and sustainable economies. Nurturing skills for inclusive and peaceful societies. With an ambitious goal in mind, the GSA aims to provide support to 10 million learners by 2029. To achieve these objectives, the GSA is diligently expanding its efforts to provide increased opportunities for skilling, upskilling and reskilling at individual, institutional and national levels. These measures aim to empower young learners with the essential tools needed to excel in an ever-evolving labour market. Since its establishment, the Global Skills Academy has made significant strides in its 3 years of operation, positively impacting over 839,000 learners from over 63 countries. The GSA is dedicated to further amplifying its efforts to achieve sustainable impact and generate increased opportunities in key areas. By adopting a demand-driven approach, the GSA is committed to the attainment of Sustainable Development Goal 4, Quality Education, and Sustainable Development Goal 8, Decent Work and Economic Growth.
All right, I hope you enjoyed this first introduction of the Global Skills Academy mission. Greetings from UNESCO headquarters in Paris and happy World Youth Skills Day to all the participants. I would like to thank also Priscilla and all the speakers from the previous panel, and of course our colleagues in the UNEVOC Center in Bonn and all the participants who are also joining from different parts of the world. My name is Soledad Patiño. I work at the education sector of UNESCO at the section of Youth, Literacy and Skills Development, and I'm coordinating the Global Skills Academy mission. Today, I will be guiding you through this last session, delivering youth skills for employability, entrepreneurship, and resilience. And we invite all participants to visit the webpage of the Global Skills Academy mission to learn more about the training opportunities that we are offering to enhance digital skills, green skills, and entrepreneurial skills. As Priscilla was mentioning, today we are celebrating also the 3rd anniversary of the launch of the Global Skills Academy mission, and it is therefore a great opportunity to take stock of how the mission was launched and how its objectives are evolving, and of course, what we are offering as a solution to thrive for acquiring skills for employability and of course resilience as well. To answer this question, I am pleased to first introduce you to Hervé Ouomachan, the Chief of the Section of Youth, Literacy and Skills Development at UNESCO. Hervé, you may take the floor.
Thanks, Soledad and colleagues, and very happy to join you for a few minutes to introduce this very important session, this panel regarding the Global Skills Academy, as it was introduced to all of you, which is about delivering youth skills for at least employability, entrepreneurship, and building also resilience in the TVET system and in the countries. As I said, it's very important. I have a few minutes and I would like to highlight key points. I'm sure that you understood also from the introduction and the video about the Global Skills Academy, but it's worldwide to highlight that this Global Skills Academy is very important for UNESCO and also the partners who joined since 2020 our Global Skills Academy. Now we have more than 24 partners who have been working with us to deliver skills for employability for youth and adults in at least 63 countries. And as it was introduced, we come from a long journey since the Global Skills Academy was launched in 2020 during the World Youth Skills Day in July 2020, with various phases since the beginning. First, the Global Skills Academy addressed since the beginning what was needed at this stage, regarding the COVID-19 crisis. And it was like an emergency response to the schools closures, even on TVET, globally on education system, but of course, including TVET. Secondly, we moved to another phase of the Global Skills Academy, which was more on building resilience in the TVET system, just after the emergency phase of the COVID-19. And finally, and we are here since last year, 2022, we did high efforts to move in the implementation and the link of the Global Skills Academy with our new strategy for TVET, UNESCO strategy for TVET for the period 2022 to 2029, where I think you well understood from the video, the Global Skills Academy is really a key flagship mission to implement our UNESCO strategy to build skills for individuals, economy, and societies. So now we are at a stage where we want to do more. I mean, internally at UNESCO, but notably working with all the partners. I mentioned at least 24 partners engaged in the Global Skills Academy, with the UNEVOC International Center and notably the UNEVOC network, to reach an ambitious target of at least 10 million youth and adults to be reached by the Global Skills Academy, so that we can, reach what we want, which is a scale-up approach of the Global Skills Academy to reach, as I said, largely more numbers of youth and adults reached by the Global Skills Academy, but also to switch to a more relevant approach, which is about a more demand-driven approach. I think we hear from the panelists just before that we have to link all our action regarding TVET with the needs of the labor market, so that we can be sure that learners, students in the TVET system can be more employable for the private sector and even the, other sector. So I think this is important. You will learn from various lists, from various angles, so that you can better understand where we are and the way forward. And I'm sure that all together we will make it even more successful. And I count on you, on your engagement and motivation to further work with us, because without partnership, we cannot reach this target, and we are well on track on this. So I won't take more time, for this introduction, and thank you all to join this important session of this overall webinar to resonate with the World Skills Day 2023 and to celebrate somewhere the anniversary, 3 years anniversary of our Global Skills Academy. Thank you to all. Soledad, I give you the floor back. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Hervé, for highlighting the evolution of the mission since its launch in 2020 and during the very challenging context of COVID-19 pandemics. Now, throughout the sessions, we are going to show you through some panels how the Global Skills Academy is delivering solutions to thrive and improve employability. And for this, we're going to present 2 examples of the work that we are doing in 2 countries and how we are connecting learners, TVET institutions, and ministries with an extensive offer of training programs offered, of course, as Hervé mentioned, by 24 members of UNESCO Global Education Coalition and even more. And furthermore, we're going to listen to the testimonial of current and former young participants to know and to hear more about their experience with the Global Skills Academy, with these trainings, and also to see how we can reach out to more people and to improve the work that we are doing. So let's start with our first group of speakers to present the Global Skills Academy mentoring program in India. This program is being delivered with the National Skills Development Corporation, NSDC, and the partnership of KPMG. I am very pleased to introduce you to Mr. Paramanda Santra, Deputy General Manager of International Cooperation at the National Skills Development Corporation, NSDC, Mrs. Ira Gupta Tuteja. She's the Advisor CSR Corporate Citizenship at KPMG India. And last but not least, a very special guest, Mrs. Navia Rawal. She is a former mentee of the program and she will tell us about her experience. So thank you, panelists, for being here today. We are excited to hear more about the program we are doing in India. And to kick off the discussion, I would like to ask Param, as a representative of NSDC, to present us the mentorship program. Param, in a nutshell, please could you describe the approach, the role of the different actors, and of course, the value for NSDC to be part of this mentoring pilot. Over to you.
Thank you, Soledad, and all the participants. And thanks for inviting us in this virtual, WorldSkills Day. This is a massive, and if I talk about the mentorship program being actually started by KPMG, UNESCO, GSA, Volunteer Vision, and in NSDC in India, I must admit, this mentorship program actually works as a guiding start to the youths of India. So the approach, the pedagogy, and the kind of program has been designed by these stakeholders. It has been a massive success. I must admit that. And to be very honest, if I talk about the demographic dividend of India and the way India is actually supporting the entire world to support their economy, socioeconomic values and everything, this kind of program is a path-breaking program. And I really appreciate the effort being taken by specifically to the UNESCO GSA Skill Academy. They have a massive target to support 10 million people to get into a proper mentorship, career improvement, and several other holistic programs in the future days to come. So if I talk about India and the program, the entire stakeholders and the team has been working day in and day out to make this program a successful one. We could able to start with a good number of candidates. The candidate has been showing massive support and enthusiasm in the entire program, and they have earned an invaluable experience out of the program. Majority of the candidates have got either a job or a mentorship related apprenticeship program or a mainstream employment opportunity of the program. So that is a massive change. I must admit, I appreciate the kind of effort being taken by the team altogether. And I certainly believe that these kind of programs is very much needed for the countries to grow their youth population for the demographic dividend and socioeconomic development. And I really would like to again appreciate the kind of program, and we are really looking forward to work closely with the UNESCO GSA team along with KPMG Volunteer Vision and the stakeholders. And thank you once again. And we are really looking forward to make a difference to the life of the youth of India. Thank you.
Thank you, Param, for sharing these insights and such an excellent perspective. I would like to now open the floor to Ira. As I mentioned, she is advisor corporate citizenship at KPMG in India. Ira, you have managed the KPMG mentorship program capabilities. In your view as a mentor, could you share the value provided by KPMG and how the KPMG mentors have lived this experience? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Soledad, and thank you for inviting me to be able to share my point of view here today. We're very grateful to UNESCO for this opportunity. So giving back to the community or helping those who are less privileged than us in the community is something that's part of the value system at KPMG. So we are always trying to help others who are not as fortunate as us. Which is where the mentorship also comes in. So all our people, that is what they like to do, is to give back and reach that higher purpose for themselves. So giving back in this way allows them to use their own skills and everything they have learned and to utilize it for uplifting somebody else, helping these students get job ready, become from day one effective that they take a job up. So some of the things that is one part is that, what is it that they teach the mentees? And the second is, what do they take away? Now, I like to begin by just sharing very briefly, what is the profile of our mentors? So our mentors were a mix of both men and women, and all of them with at least a minimum of 3 years of work experience, working across various functions within the firm. and all of them were postgraduates. And they were very committed to the mentees, to the students of the GSA. They really wanted to make a difference to their lives. So despite whatever challenges came their way, the fact that these are all students, so obviously they're not available during the day, the mentors were okay to expand their working hours to late evenings or early mornings, whatever worked for the mentees. But they wanted to ensure that they're able to reach their mentees. They were okay to, go across platforms, because given the background of these students, obviously they don't have the best internet connections. We understand that. So they worked across those network issues and are happy to talk to them in both English or in any other local language that the mentee is more comfortable to talk in. Now, what were the key takeaways for the mentor and for the from a mentor's perspective? So there's this huge sense of appreciation when you're working for a corporate like KPMG. You feel advantaged and privileged, and you want to share those advantages. So this kind of mentoring someone else allows you to share that. So you feel important, you feel like you're needed, and your perspective also evolves that, this is a person who's trying to make their way in the world, and this is what they should be. This is the way they should be going about it or doing. And so maybe share some of the best practices that we see for aspirational youth, who want to make their careers and be really strong in the corporate world. So all of that really helped. And our mentors also took away, like I said, a lot in terms of their learning from the mentees of never giving up or overcoming their struggles. So that, in very brief, Soledad, was what our mentors felt about the program.
Oh, thank you very much, Ira, for having shared this mentor's feedback. It is great to learn how positive was this experience, and we really hope that, and we trust that these mentors are going to remain volunteers to be part of the scale-up of the program as well. It is critical that the concrete results recognized by mentees becomes a lesson learned that we can integrate, and then we can, of course, improve as we grow with this program. So for this, I think that our last participant of this panel, as I was saying, Navia, a current former participant as a mentee of the program, she was selected among the many mentees of this pilot to share a valuable perspective, and so we can also hear about her personal journey. So Navia, as a former mentee of the program and now working at NSDC, which is also very remarkable, how have you lived this experience and what benefits have you already got? Over to you.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Navya Rawat, the former mentee of Volunteer Vision UNESCO Mentorship Program, and currently I'm working in NSDC. First of all, I would like to say thank you to everybody, and I'm grateful for this opportunity. And I'm thrilled to share my experience and the profound impact that the mentorship program has had on my professional and personal development. This mentorship program has improved my.
I am very sorry, Navia, to interrupt you, but we are hearing an echo. I thought it was only me, but I think that all the participants are hearing this echo. Do you think there's a possibility to maybe turn off and turn on then again your microphone? Thank you very much. Is it okay, Navia? Can you please continue? We'll see if the echo has disappeared. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, unfortunately, we have the echo, but I ask to all the participants to bear with us and make an effort to hear Nadia's testimonial.
I'm so sorry for that. I don't know why it's happening. Okay, let me share my experience first because that's very important. I am confidently say that this program has provided me with an invaluable skills and knowledge it significantly improved my practical skills like resume making, email writing, and communication proficiency. And moreover, I would like to say something about my mentor because she was the backbone. She has played the crucial role in boosting my confidence and self-esteem. She was like there for me every time, like whenever I needed her. She used to tell me about my skills, strengths, weaknesses, allowing me to focus on the areas of improvement. Despite this, I would say this mentorship program has not only provided with professional growth but also impacted on my personal development and well-being. That's why, because of these learnings, I was able to grab the remarkable job at NSTC. Uh, the knowledge and the skills that I acquired throughout the program helped me in my interview process. Nowadays, I believe that success of any nation depends on the in the hands of youth. And but however, today youth faces the challenges to secure the job, or they face difficulties because they lack some practical skills. So I would like to say that this program is, I would recommend this program to everybody, every candidate who wants to, advance their career and just strengthen their professional abilities. So I'm grateful for this opportunity. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Navia. Unfortunately, we couldn't fix the echo, but we heard part of your testimonial, and we hope to continue these conversations with other participants in the years ahead. So thank you very much to all the panelists from the mentorship in India. Now let's switch or focus to a digital training initiative in Grenada in partnership with our new partner, Aleph Group, and the UNESCO Kingston Field Office. So we have here for this today, Mrs. Latoya Swabi Anderson. She's a National Education Officer from the UNESCO Cluster Office in the Caribbean in Kingston. We have Francisco Anello, Global Senior Vice President of Education at Aleph Holding. And we are also going to have the presence of another participant of the program. So welcome to you all, and thank you for joining us. First, over to Latoya as the National Education Officer from Kingston. Could you please present very briefly what is the project in Grenada, and also how the Global Skills Academy mission has supported to cater to the local skills demand in the country? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I hope you're hearing me clearly.
We can hear you loud and clear. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, and good day to everyone. It's my pleasure to be here and to share with you about this exciting project that we're doing in Grenada. Please, my apologies if I'm sounding a bit hoarse today. So the UNESCO is a part of a project that it's a joint SDG funded project, and it's entitled the Resilient Caribbean, Engaging and Training Youth Strength in Integrated Social Protection Sector Delivery. And it's really a youth-focused project engaged in empowering Grenadian youth for the digital world of work. And so as a part of this, we have been working very closely with other UN agencies, UNICEF, the International Labour Organization, and the World Food Programme. It's a multi-country project, but our particular focus for UNESCO Caribbean is in Grenada. And this is following up on work that we have previously done in Grenada in helping to support the strengthening of their national TVET policy and programs. And so as a part of this program, it's really focused particularly on engaging community youth leaders, strengthening the capacity of TVET educators, and the specific beneficiaries, strengthening the capacity of post-secondary youths with emerging digital and entrepreneurial skills required to increase national and regional productivity. In order to do this, we have been working very closely, and we're so grateful to the Global Skills Academy and the entire team who has been on board with us from the inception of this project. Following stakeholder consultations held in mid last year, where key actors on the ground in Grenada helped to identify the key areas, the key competencies that would be developed as a part of this project. We have been engaged with the Global Skills Academy in helping to identify identify and to clarify the needs of the beneficiaries. This has been a tremendous help to us, as the team has helped to support us in being able to better articulate the type of competencies, the type of knowledge, skills, abilities that are needed as a part of the project, and to be able to identify and to match, to find that specific alignment with the partners who are able to provide the best fit for this engagement. Excuse me. And so as a part of that, we have been working very closely with the Global Skills Academy in facilitating the exploratory dialogue with potential partners, and to identify not just the competencies, but having a very concrete understanding and appreciation of the needs of the beneficiaries and their context. And so as a part of this, we have been engaged with partners such as Aleph, who is also on board to speak about what they have been doing in Grenada and perhaps in the wider field. Just to also share that it has been very instrumental, the work that the Global Skills Academy has been doing in continuing to act as a liaison between our office and the partners, in this case, Aleph, as well as their other partners who we are also onboarding as well. And so the Global Skills Academy has been very instrumental in providing monitoring and supporting the advancement of the activities, providing guidance and direction on how to navigate the challenges that come as a part of any project. And so this high level of responsiveness, the guidance that has been provided has been very critical in ensuring the quality assurance that is needed to keep the project moving forward. And of course, on the ground, what is most significant is the feedback from our Grenadian beneficiaries, primarily our youth, one of which who is present today, who will share on how this has been quite instrumental, quite valuable in their experience, and how this can support them as young people, even as we have been hearing about what youths need, what young people envisage for their futures. We see the role that the Global Skills Academy has been playing and continues to play in this regard. So I'll just stop here for now, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Latoya, for sharing this particular example of how we are working to support countries and how we are deploying this demand-driven approach from the Global Skills Academy in order to adapt to specific demands at local level. So now we have Francisco Anello from Aleph, who will tell us more about the particular training and certification that we are offering in Grenada. Over to you, Francisco.
Thank you, Soledad, and also Latoya and Donna to be here. We are providing through this digital ad expert online platform, we are providing digital marketing and advertising skills, but also soft skills such as peer-to-peer cooperation, like public speaking, and also remote working skills. Aleph, as a company, is the largest global enabler of digital advertising, connecting the main internet, social media, e-commerce, and gaming platforms with emerging markets, with more than 130 markets. And we reach through that more than 20,000 clients from these 130 markets, and we through these campaigns reach 3 billion connected consumers. Gaston Taratuta, the CEO of the company, has invited me to join this education amazing program and launched this platform 2 years ago. And we have already trained 60,000 students on the short courses and more than 7,000 students on this digital ad certificate 3 months program. And so far, our experience with UNESCO team and also specifically with Latoya and all the Caribbean and Grenada team has been amazing, not only because of their professional approach and their will and intention and dedication to changing these youth lives and opportunities, but also because of their energy and their humor also to build these skills, but also connect with them at a human level. That I think when you provide digital skills and when you reach youth, if you don't connect at a human level with them, and if you're not honest and frank and work with them from this like close perspective, you can develop a lot of technical skills, but you won't help them to open themselves to other skills. And what we have heard so far from many students in this first part of the project is that they are enjoying this education trip. They are connecting twice a week, 2 hours, but they want to connect more time and they want to have more lessons, which is amazing for us. And they are also learning how to set campaigns and how to advertise on the main platforms such as Twitter, TikTok, Spotify, Snapchat, Facebook, Google. Like, it's important that we are in this digital economy that's demanding talent, still growing, and the transfer from offline GDP to digital GDP is still happening, and it will demand lots of resources and talent in the future. We are offering these tools to this youth, and that can help them, as they're saying already, grow their business, have a better future, have a client, or even get a job. So thank you, UNESCO, and thank you all for this space. And we are open to like growing this project in other places of the world, as we are doing with digital ad expert.
No, thank you, Francisco, and thank you also to the Aleph team. And as Francisco was saying, we are also going to feature very soon the same program in other languages to reach out to a broader audience. Probably the next version will be available in French. So last but not least, we have the pleasure to have one of the participants who just started this training. Her name is Donette Hiller, and we're going to hear about her experience. Donette, how do you think this digital marketing training program will support you to increase employability opportunities? Over to you.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm grateful for being here today. And when I speak, I believe I speak not only on my behalf, but on the behalf of my mates as well, my colleagues. For me, I will start personally and look at how it has benefited others as well. For me personally, this training, I believe, I would say it's a life-changing opportunity for me. It's very trending. Now, for me as someone involved in business, everything is not as it used to be traditionally, where you just see ads on radio, hear ads on radio, see it on television, or read about it in the newspaper. Everything is digital now. So whether it be through social media, whether it be email, whatever, that's what's trending. And being a business professional and being an aspiring entrepreneur, I see this training as not just doing something because it's available for free, but it's something that would really help me personally and professionally. Really put me in a position where I could really market my small business out there. And even being here in this small island, Grenada, a developing nation that has its own limitation, its own restriction, our population is very small. So I'll be able to I would say, compete on a global scale with my business, one, and also having that skill would actually put me in a better position to provide that service to other businesses as well, generating income. So it's a holistic approach. I would say it will benefit me in many ways, too many to mention now. When I will also say for my colleagues, the training has done that as well for others, for persons who are like myself, aspiring entrepreneurs, persons in business, but even for persons who may be unemployed, who are part of the training, it actually broadens the scope now to really be gainfully employed, creating opportunities for them where they can take advantage of. Many times what happens here is that the focus in Grenada is on academics. So persons go through the primary education, the secondary education, and I think it's for most Caribbean countries. And then you go to probably college, and some go on to do a degree. Now, I would have done a degree in management at SGU, St. George's University, but just having the academics, sometimes you still cannot tap into what is available. And what is trending now is really a high demand for skills. And even if you have the academics, sometimes you still cannot become employed. There are a lot of persons in Grenada who have degrees, but they're home unemployed because they lack the practical skills. So that would open up has opened up opportunity. I think it's an ongoing thing, and it will continue to open up great opportunities for my fellow Grenadians. And I'm so blessed and grateful for this opportunity. I'm being honest. It's really wonderful. And for me, the training has its challenges for me, I'll be honest, because I work. And where I work, I have to take 3 buses to get to work, and then 3 buses back to home. And during travels is when I have to log in on my phone. So I'm challenged, but I am still there. I haven't missed a class. Sometimes I get dropped because the connection is bad on the internet for me. Sometimes I may drop off and then I go back. But it has, even with that challenge, it has motivated me, giving me a little bit of more purpose, and be able to look at things from a broader scope, see more, a wider horizon out there, more opportunities. And I really am grateful for this opportunity. And I hope that things like that continues, and even more, and even in different aspects, because really I believe to take our country forward, to take our people forward, to transform Grenada in a social and economic way is through skills development. Skills is what is necessary here. And I'm really grateful to be part of this initiative, and I thank you.
Thank you very much, Janet, for this very comprehensive testimonial and very positive. I think that the chat was really grateful for your experience, and also I think that most of them agree with your perspective as well. So we really hope to have more inputs like yours, and to see how we can extend, of course, this kind of trainings. As I was saying at the beginning, these are just 2 examples of the very broad work that we do at the Global Skills Academy mission. As for now, as Hervé was mentioning at the beginning, we have more than 24 partners, but we have a very large pool of partners from the Global Education Coalition that is up to 200 partners. And each of these partners are bringing like a very diverse set of training programs, focused, of course, on digital skills, but also now on greening skills, on more mentoring and entrepreneurial opportunities. And this is why today we decided to make a focus on these entrepreneurial and, of course, mentoring approaches that we have, and to share a bit more concretely about the participants, to learn more from them particularly. So last but not least, I would like to also include a testimonial from another former mentee of the program, who unfortunately was not able to join us, but she has recorded a video to share her experience with the Women at Your program. And for this, our colleagues in UNEVOC are going to broadcast the testimonial of Chiwenga Konyaya. Please, colleagues, thank you.
Participants for their valuable insights to the discussion on youth skills development and development.
Together, a winning Dream for Change project in the 2022 cohort of the UNESCO and Women at Your mentorship and education program. It is such an honor to celebrate the World Youth Skills Day with all of you today. Since winning the Dream for Change projects last year, Talita Together has evolved from being a social impact project into a registered non-profit company in South Africa, because we fell in love with the cause of empowering teen mothers in Africa through education and entrepreneurship. We now have branches across Southern Africa, 4 in South Africa and 1 in Zimbabwe. To date, we have assisted over 350 teen mothers living in marginalized communities and disadvantaged townships in Southern Africa. Now the question bears, how has the UNESCO and Women at Your mentorship and education program brought skills onto together, and what impact has that had on the skills development amongst female African youth? The first being leadership skills. The program taught us how to lead ourselves before leading others, how to take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, how to develop confidence and assert yourself in the world while making an impact in other people's lives. The second skill is the skill of collaboration, working together to achieve one common goal. We believe that teamwork is what makes the dream work. The third skill is communication skills. The relationships we build and keep are through respectful, constructive, and consistent communication with our stakeholders, as well as communicating the importance of being a voice for the voiceless. Our sensitive work comes with sensitive speech, which we really have to articulate well, especially through social media, and how we position teen mothers in society as emerging leaders of tomorrow and not victims of circumstances. Thank you for having me, and may you continue to do the good work of uplifting the youth across the globe and developing these important skills.
Well, thank you very much to the UNEVOC colleagues for sharing also this final testimonial. Unfortunately, we still have some glitches with the audio, but now we're running out of time, and I would like to thank the panelists of the Global Skills Academy mission. Thank you for your testimonials. Thank you for sharing part of the work that we are doing around the world. As you can see, we are working with all the regions, and we are here for youth and for all the participants who would like to reach out. We saw that many questions and also some contact information was shared among the chat. We are going to collect this, and please also reach out and find out more about the very large offer that we have in our website. And if you want to reach us out, the gsa@unesco.org email address was also shared. So last, to move on with the final part of the panel, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Boren Shakrun. Boren, he is the Director of Lifelong Learning Policies at UNESCO. Boren, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Soledad, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, colleagues. It's amazing, this event. I would like to thank UNESCO-UNEVOC team, thank also our team at the headquarters, the Global Skills Academy team, for organizing this celebration of the World Youth Skills Development Day. I'm also impressed by the diversity of the speakers and the multi-stakeholder speakers that we had in the meeting today. We listened to young people, employers, we listened to agencies like the NSDC, but also we listened to youth and teachers and coaches that have been engaged in the different programs, in particular on the Global Skills Academy in the last panels. So colleagues, as you know, the theme is about the teaching and learning and the role of the teaching profession in education, training, and skills development in particular. Is that intergenerational dimension that we are also celebrating this year. And for skills development, we can see also through the presentations that we have a very diverse, call it teaching profession that we are considering in this case. We consider teachers, instructors, but very important, we have listened to coaches, mentors who are engaged in facilitating that transition from school to work to all young people who are graduating or who are requiring skills development. And that role of mentoring, coaching is part of what I will call also an equity and inclusion agenda. When we are privileged, we have a social network that helps us understand what's the demand in the labor market, where we can find the information, what jobs we can apply to, even facilitating a job access to jobs. But mentoring, coaching, supporting, scaffolding is a function that is very critical for the transition, but it's, I think, very critical for equity and inclusion. The second aspect that I feel we discussed today is that the skills development can be for traditional jobs, for jobs that are not necessarily conducive for sustainable development. But in our discussion today, we have heard about also the twin transition, how we ensure that young people and learners broadly are equipped with the skills to access digitized economies, to access greening economies in particular. And we know that the green economy and green jobs, and there was discussion earlier about what are the green jobs. I think every job today is and has to be green. So it's the responsibility of all of us. And that means how we are engaging in learning and equipping young people with the right skills. But today, these are new jobs, jobs that are emerging, that are not in traditional jobs that you can acquire through apprenticeship or through other forms of learning. We have to have this intergenerational engagement that probably can reinforce the skills development, but is a new model of how we can equip youth in particular, and how youth can equip themselves with those skills. Probably another aspect that came in different moment of the discussion today is about uncertainty. We have uncertainty how we will address the climate change. We have uncertainty about the digital transformation. AI is one of the most important marker of this uncertainty. And of course, uncertainty about how the economies as a whole will be reacting, the impact on jobs that will disappear, jobs that will appear, and jobs that will be transformed. In this uncertainty, we need three aspects that I would like to highlight. One is a coalition of partners, and that's what we are having today. That's what we have in the Global Education Coalition, we have in the Global Skills Academy. Second, we need youth agency, and that's what we have heard today. Just Dorothy was showing how much we have youth agency and how much we need to celebrate youth agency, how much we need to empower youth agency. And that's what the Global Skills Academy is doing. But also we need programs that will meet the demands and the changing demands as we see them emerging, coping with uncertainty. And that's what UNESCO-UNEVOC does through the networks, through knowledge sharing, cooperation, solidarity among network and among the members of the network. This is what the Global Skills Academy is doing by having this combination of different stakeholders. So that uncertainty is one of the features of our economies, labor markets today, and we need to engage with them in that direction. So let me say that I'm very pleased to have this closure with you, also with Aswata, and having young people driving us and sitting in the driving seat, having their agency articulated and presented. But I would like to thank all colleagues who celebrated today and who joined us to celebrate, the speakers and the participants. We were more than 300 participants at one point. So I would like to thank all colleagues who joined us, and thank you, Soledad. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Boren. Now we're going to give the floor to the final speaker. She's going to provide a message from the youth to finalize. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you to all the participants for their valuable insights to the discussion on youth skills development. Thank you to all the participants for their valuable insights to the discussion on youth skills development and TVET. The World Youth Skills Day event at UNESCO-UNEVOC has provided us this unique opportunity to come together and exchange ideas for a sustainable future through skills development. In the future, more responsibilities lie in the hands of today's youngsters. Hence, I urge my fellow young people to equip themselves with relevant set of knowledge and skills that enable us to manage and improve environmental sustainability. Lastly, I would like to emphasize that pursuing skills, taking up challenges and responsibilities will pave the way for a better future. I believe that we should not just remain as the beneficiaries, but be the driving force in this change for a sustainable future. Skills do change lives. Thank you for joining us the event today, and I wish you all a happy